My biggest unlock is the attitude of gratitude. If you lead life with gratitude, doors are open, and they'll open in ways you never imagined. Leaders are not measured by their followers or their accomplishments or their accolades. They're measured by how many leaders they build in their process and journey of becoming said leader. When I really shifted my paradigm is when I understood that you're one text, one DM, one phone call, one email away, one conference away, one handshake away from a completely different life. That's it. You're that close. And you're 23 no's away from the yes that will change your life forever.
What if the kid they called stupid ended up working on Wall Street and changing the world? Get ready for a powerful conversation that's raw and real and talks about how your past doesn't have to define you, your mindset does. Thank you, Dylan, for being on the show today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to dive in and talk to you a little bit about not only your humble beginnings, but where you're at today to defy the odds, which is really crazy and awesome at the same time.
What a beautiful journey it's been.
Yeah. So you went from an orphanage in Russia, from being called the stupid kid.
Yes.
To working on Wall Street.
Uh-huh.
What's the first image that comes to mind when you think about how far you've come?
First image? When I was, I want to say 7, my mother, we didn't have money, but we had an uncle who lived in Brooklyn and we could stay in his basement apartment.
Okay.
So we would come and we'd bring our scooters, and my mom would just let us scoot around New York City. We'd go to Central Park, and the exciting thing was we were in New York City. But I'll never forget the first time I rode a train, I was sitting across from a kid at the time who had like the PSP, and he had Beats headphones on, and I was like, I want that. Like, I don't know what, just being a kid, but I was like, I want that. And the first time I ever saw a Cadillac Escalade was that same trip, and there were Beat headphones on the passenger side headrest, and I was like, oh, I don't know why, but I want that. It's the first time I saw what more was, and I was like, I want more. And it was like perspective at like 7 years old, understanding there is more and I don't have it, and we don't come from all this craziness. And, there was a lot of growth that I wanted, a lot I aspired to be. As a kid, I watched Disney Channel and wanted to be that kid actor. There was a lot of, looking back, he wouldn't believe it. 19-year-old Dylan, like my videographer asked me, he was like, what would 19-year-old Dylan think when he started all this? And I get emotional thinking about it, because this is, everything we're doing is all that I wanted. And when I was 19, I preached that my 29-year-old self, I want him to thank me for my 19-year-old self. And we're only 5 years in, and I'm already thanking my 19-year-old self. So I'm proud. I mean, it's been a long journey. And this last year, I've started to feel proud about myself and what I've accomplished and not feeling guilty about it. So my new evolve is I'm proud of myself for like the first time ever.
You should be.
Thank you.
I did say that too on the phone.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago, that as a big sister, oldest of many, I do have brother and sister that are your age, and not to compare,
right,
but to see the difference in not only age, like the age is the same, but like mentally, spiritually, you are so far ahead of any 24-year-old that I know. And I'm sure that came with grit and perseverance and hard work.
Yeah, I had to grow up early, having an alcoholic father, having to make sure my brother's okay, my mom's okay, not knowing that I'm okay or not. You have to mature very fast. It's very adaptable. And before that, being in the orphanage, it was fight or flight. You're fighting for food, you're fighting for blankets. So I think I never had an opportunity to have the kid inside me. And I think the only opportunity I had was in high school, when I understood I wasn't going to college. So we partied like it was college after school. And that was it. And as soon as I graduated, it was like, okay, I've got to go make something of myself. I was also insecure. I didn't go to college, and everybody else at the time was going. And I didn't want to be known as that kid who, was funny, but, didn't amount to much and was the stupid kid there. I didn't want that to live on as a legacy. So yeah. I joke with my friends that I completely overcompensated. But, I'm glad I've been able to inspire many, live dreams and accomplish things I didn't even know was possible, that I thought was fake or unreachable, and turning celebrities and people I looked up to into peers and friends was probably the coolest part of the whole journey.
Do you think you were so hard on yourself because where you came from that you needed to really solidify your reputation or solidify how people saw you?
For sure. Yeah, I was very insecure in my abilities and what I've been through and what I went through and my intelligence myself. And yeah, there was definitely a lot of overcompensation, but with good intention.
Yeah. So you've been mentored or coached by some really big names.
I have been, yeah.
David Meltzer, Craig Siegel.
Yes.
Are there any others that I'm missing?
He's going to be on the show, King Carl Michelle, Brandon Godoris. I'm mentored by a lot of people. My father, my now father. I have mentors for like touring and shows. Teddy Swims, if anybody knows who Teddy Swims is, helps me with touring. And the new perspective that I have is this last year I've unlocked, we call the woodwork, which has been hard, where every time I turn around, somebody's calling me or texting me or DMing me and they have their hand out and they're asking for this or that or that or this or a connection or a trip or some money or a flight. So he's helping me guide through that. So I think I'm really grateful and blessed to have a lot of amazing big people behind me and helping me stay, being my bumpers in the bowling alley. Like if you throw the ball down, I can bounce off somebody instead of going into the gutter.
What do you think are some of the biggest lessons or a lesson that you've learned from your mentors or coaches?
Number one is don't react on anything.
Okay.
Ever. So like I help that in Wall Street. I help that with productions, with working with people, with employees. Don't react ever. That's the number one. Save your energy. Is everything in alignment with you? What's the intentions behind everything? Really think, be able to receive. That's something I was really working on, is being able to receive.
Yeah.
So when you can receive, being able to understand that, absorb it, and then move forward. My biggest unlock is the attitude of gratitude. If you lead life with gratitude, doors are open, and they'll open in ways you never imagined.
That's so powerful too. And I heard David Meltzer speak a couple weeks ago. And so the one thing that really stuck with me is what you just said, is to receive.
Yeah.
As a woman, it's much harder, in my experience and other women that I've talked to actually receive. We're givers, we're constantly nurturing and giving and giving and giving. And when we actually receive, it's really hard. But what he said about that robs the person who is giving you something.
Yes.
Of that pleasure, that beautiful pleasure that we all feel when we give to somebody. And that was like, oh my God, that hit me so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you said that, I was like, wow, that's really a lesson that I'm starting to also.
And that's the same guy who taught me the exact same lesson you just shared. That's why I started to be, I got to receive, because my favorite thing is to give opportunities, give connections, give whatever. It's a huge passion of mine. So when he said the same thing to me, I was like, oh.
I know. It's like, whoa, okay.
Exactly.
I hear that. So you were misdiagnosed with ADHD and medicated for it.
Yes.
Okay. Bullied for your dyslexia and lived with an alcoholic father. What was your darkest moment and how did you find light in it?
This is going to be a crazy answer. My darkest moment was in December of this last year.
No way.
Yeah. So this last December, this whole time have been just focused on getting through and getting this done and signing this contract and getting this job and taking this project here and traveling there. And is everybody else okay? And I went on tour, went on David Meltzer's show, came home, and I came home in the height of holiday. So like everybody's home with their families and stuff. My family went to Egypt for Christmas and I was too busy working and nothing made sense on how I could meet them in Egypt. So I spent Christmas with my twin brother. But that month and a half, the world stopped, right? It was just Wall Street, that slowed way down. No clients were doing anything. Everybody had Christmas parties. No productions, no podcasts, no stages. I had a lot of Dylan time where I started I never reflected until December. So I started reflecting on everything. And I mean, orphanage, alcoholic father, what I've done wrong, what I've done right, who I should have done better by, who I didn't connect with, and the lessons. And, I didn't really absorb everything I was through until December because I had time. So I really reflected on everything, the great and the terrible. So the terrible was hard to get through. But the thing that I'm grateful for is people used to come up to me and be like, I'm going through depression, X, Y, and Z. I feel this way, and your talk helped me. I couldn't connect with them because I didn't know what depression was, right? And I completely understand it now. Like completely. So I think I'm grateful for that. because now when somebody does come to me with depression, I can approach them appropriately, and I know how to approach people. And now the most terrifying part was I was very depressed and I was smiling every day and saying happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yeah.
So the perspective that gave me was, you never know what somebody's going through, and if they're smiling through a storm, you don't know it. So the way I approach people is extremely different now, way different. Like, I want everybody to talk. I'll let you talk to me for 2 hours. Get it off your chest.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather have a conversation than an invite to a funeral. Like, that's my biggest thing. So it sounds crazy, but somebody's going to clip this. I'm grateful for depression because it's helping me understand those who are coming to me with it. And I'm not a doctor or anything, but I now I understand what it was like to go through it.
I wonder if you have been running at such full speed that you never got to really, sit through the feelings or work through some of the things that it finally caught up to you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And how did you kind of get through that moment? Like, I know you're maybe still going through it. I don't know.
I'm definitely out of it now.
Okay.
I feel like myself again.
What got you out of that?
It was a lot of for a while, I felt guilty about taking time off from work. I felt guilty if I wasn't working. I felt guilty if I wasn't thinking about work or expanding this or doing that. And what got me out, honestly, was work. I booked another stage, and it was like, oh, yeah, this is who I am. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. Like, went out there and connected with people, and they shared how they've been following me since 2021 and how I've impacted them and how I've inspired them and how they're so happy to be a part of it and have ever met me. So it's like my purpose, going back to my purpose when I was in that, just kind of being reminded of you are doing stuff that matters. It is helping people. You are impacting, you are helping, you are creating opportunities, and it's being received. You're not just talking to a wall. So, as an entrepreneur, sometimes you think you're going crazy. Talking to a wall and you don't know if it's stuck anywhere, and you don't know until somebody comes up to you like, hey, Celeste, watch your podcast. That was powerful.
Yeah. It's true. And I love that you mentioned that you don't know what people are going through.
Right.
You were smiling. I just saw you in December.
Yeah.
For the TEDx.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me,
I was probably in the height of it then.
To me, you even said to me, I remember this night, you go, don't you know how to manifest, Celeste?
Yeah.
I can teach you.
Yeah.
I was like, what? This is so great. Like,
yes.
I love that. I want to be like all ages, all genders, all cultures, like teach me things.
Yes.
Because I want to learn. I don't know everything. So I just thought that just really stuck with me, that you were just so wise. So like socially, mentally, spiritually, like connected to yourself.
I'm very obsessed with my concept of 1% better every day.
Yeah.
And I was just at lunch or breakfast with Dalton and Craig, Dalton Crossan, the NFL player, and we had the conversation. I first worked out with him at his house, and he pushed me on legs, and we connected, and he was just like, so what is your goal? I was like, minimum, I have to be 1% better every day. He's like, why not 10% better a day? Like, that was his first question. And I'm like, oh, I'm not thinking big enough. Right? There's more. I could be doing more. 1% better a day is the bare minimum for anybody. But where I am and what I'm doing at the level I'm doing it, I shouldn't be thinking that way. I should be 50%. How can I be 100% a week?
Yes. What can I say?
Yeah.
Like, you want to set yourself up for wins. And I think it's the small wins that get to the big wins.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think 1% is, like you said, it's better than yesterday.
Yes.
So those, like, yes, I understand what you're saying. Like, you and I probably have similar goals and where we want to go in life.
Yeah.
The things that we want, the impact that we want to make. But I think if you get 1% down, that's more than anyone,
Right.
than most people.
Right.
So don't be like, I hear what you're saying, but also keep in mind, like, it's okay that you're doing that. And if you do 10% tomorrow and 50% the next day, but you're back down to 1%, like, you should still really
You're
be
still
proud of
moving
yourself.
forward. Yeah,
exactly. For someone struggling with dyslexia or any learning difference, what would you say to them when they're told they'll never amount to anything?
The school system and medicine, pharmaceutical industry is built to give you diagnoses to make you pay for said meds, to then put you in a mindset where you're spinning. Like, I was on Ritalin and Concerta, And if I close my eyes, it was meth. So if you like break it down chemically, it's meth. So as a kid, I had scabs on my face and I couldn't close my eyes because if I closed my eyes, I think we've all been drunk before. You get drunk and the world's spinning. It does that when you're on Ritalin and Concerta. So everybody in my position at the time was told that disability is able to.
Okay.
And what I preach now is disability, when turned into and guided correctly, is different ability. Because most of the people with dyslexia and ADHD are creatives. They're creative thinkers because you're losing a different part of the brain to absorb, which is why you find most successful people to be dyslexic or have ADHD or both. They actually pair very well together. So, you know, your grades in school have nothing to do with who you are and what you're capable of.
Yeah.
Your ability to study for a test has nothing to do with your ability to build something great and connect with somebody and help people and chase your goals and achieve them. And, you know, if you feel you're not valued or you're not smart, a water bottle at a gas station is $1 to $2, but at the airport it's $15. You're just not valued in the right areas. If you're not being valued where you are, go where you're being valued. It's okay to find a community. And if you've got to go to New York City or you have to go to Chicago or LA or San Fran or Vegas, and those are your people where you're now that $15 water bottle, then those are your people.
Yeah.
You're not worthless because the people in your area aren't valuing you. Just go where you're valued. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. Has nothing to do with where you struggle. Everybody struggles.
Yeah. And when did you feel like you really wanted to start speaking about dyslexia to children or to anybody for that matter?
Overall, when I was 19, I was a senior in high school in 2020, and COVID happened, so I was a class of COVID. So in March, they shut the school down. I never went back. Didn't have prom, didn't have graduation, just never went back. But I had so much time. And everybody's, you know, day drinking, watching movies, Netflix, YouTube, and I found myself on YouTube, and I found Ryan Serhant, I found Ed Milet, I found Tony Robbins, I actually found David Meltzer, and all those guys, and Grant Cardone, and I just started running to their keynotes because I watched their keynotes and I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
And I started running to their keynotes and I started to like really think differently, and then I was like, okay, well, I resonate with a lot of this. How can I help somebody? And start with the baseline was, if I make one video a day and I get one like, one view, or one comment, then I've impacted one life and it was worth it. And I can make another video. So I started posting by a couple quotes. They never did anything. I posted my first video. I got 2 likes and like 5 views or something like that. And then I was like, okay, we can do this. So my rule was after my runs, and my mom could tell you, I was in my room for like 2 hours for a 10-second clip. I was like, do it, nope, do it, nope, do it, no. And, you know, that's that 19-year-old kid who got us here, who was like, you know, my mindset was insane because in my head, making selfie videos in my bedroom, I was already a CEO. I was already a keynote speaker. I was already a personality. I was already this big entity as just making selfie videos and a Goodwill button-up.
What do you hope to accomplish with your goals of speaking to people about dyslexia? My
big goal with speaking overall and dyslexia is a leader. Leaders are not measured by their followers or their accomplishments or their accolades. They're measured by how many leaders they build in their process and journey of becoming said leader. So I want to build as many leaders as I can and just watch them flourish. I want people in my circle to do better than me. I really do. That's all I want. I love mentorship. I have a mentor who pours into me and helps me change lives. And then the lessons I learned from my mentors, I'm able to pour into people like Alex and the people who work with me. And you get to watch those working with you and traveling with you really expand, really evolve, really transform. And it's like, I tell all the people I've been able to work with, like, I'm really appreciative that Alex has allowed me to like take him on and travel with me. And I've been able to witness his transformation in real time. And Ryan Osborne, watch his, and John Leslie and Kyle and Blake, like all my friends, watching them just transform, being around me and seeing how I operate and who I work with and pushing them to do better. And then they turn around and now I own a couple companies with friends and we travel the country and we own this big 1% production, and it's doing great things with great people and letting them build opportunities with you or build them for them and just let them take over.
That's awesome. Because I think there needs to be the younger generation doing more of what you're doing, because right, the people in our industry are typically older,
Yeah.
you know, because shit hits them older, right? Like me. And that self-actualization and the work, you just did at a younger age. And so typically 24-year-olds are out partying, drinking, you know, maybe just finishing college, working at grinding some job that they're not happy at,
Yeah.
you know, just thinking that that's the norm and that's what they should do. When in essence, like maybe they just need to stop and really get serious with themselves. Like, what do I want to do? What do I feel like is my purpose?
No one knows what they want to do. I think that's my biggest thing. Everybody's like, how'd you do what you did? And I'm like, I knew what I wanted to do. Like, my cousin is a weatherman in Nebraska. That kid wanted to be a weatherman for the last 20 years. He dressed up as it for Halloween. He went to school for it. He talked about it all through high school. He went storm chasing. He took huge internships. He just moved to Nebraska to do it. He's always wanted to be a weatherman, and he's going to be ahead because he's known what he wants to do. That is the power of understanding what you want to do, because once you know what you want to do, find the people with the results that you want, go learn from them.
Yeah.
Work for nothing. Work for almost nothing, and just learn and absorb and ask questions and do the ugly and grind it out. But you can only grind for 2 to 3 years before you and everybody else see results, and then 5 to 10, it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm right now in the fun chapter.
It's only going to get better.
Yes.
You know, this is the very beginning for you.
Yes.
To only see, like you said, you know, working out with your NFL player friend.
Dalton, yeah.
Yes, Dalton. And he's like, oh, 10%. And you're just like, oh, like
Yeah.
it's being around other people that you're just going to expand and grow.
100%.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Yeah. Do you think you'll ever be done with Wall Street?
I'm trying. I said 1.5 years.
Okay.
I want to leave.
Okay.
1.5 years max. Maybe before that we'll leave. Yeah.
Before I get into that, I'm going to change up the questions here. So before we sat down, you said you're starting to dress more casual,
Yes.
right? This is kind of the jean and the sneakers and the black shirt today.
Yeah.
Because why?
Why? Because I think that I said there's value in people coming to see and hear me based off what I have to bring to the table in regards to value, not in what I'm wearing. Because before you do give your side, I had many more people. It was a personal thing.
Yeah.
If you see me on stage, I always wear a suit. But for this stuff, I stopped suiting up because a lot of people come up to me and they ask me about like, oh, how much is your suit? Oh, what are those shoes? Are you wearing a Rolex? And it wasn't like any question about my talk or any question about the podcast. It was like, oh, you wore a nice suit on that. Like, and I want people to listen to what I have to say and learn and want to expand and figure out the value that they find in the time that I put in for these things. So it felt at a point was a distraction. So I'm trying to dilute my distractions, but you go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a statistic.
Yeah.
55% of the way that we look matters in another's eye. They're making judgments within 3 seconds. 38% is your tone or your body language. 7% is actually the words that we say.
Crazy.
So that's how powerful image is. You know this. I'm not telling you something you don't know. When you say this is what Ryan Serhant's doing, right? Wearing what he's wearing.
Oh, because I'm always in a blue suit.
Okay. So Ryan, I don't think I've seen dressed down, but a few times. Maybe a few times, but not, pretty much ever. So that's kind of his thing, right? He's always dressed
in a suit
for success.
Yes.
So one suggestion I would tell you, if you are like meeting people that are literally like, oh, that, right? Like you said, as a distraction, like know who your audience is and try to mirror them, right? So if you are in casual like podcasts or meetings, it's okay, but always dress one level up.
Yeah.
But you're not, nor am I, at the place where we want to be that of, for example, the Meltzers, the Siegels, those people can dress however the fuck they want to dress.
Yes.
Because they've made it. They've made a brand, a stamp, a mark, whatever you want to say. They've made the money. They've made the successes. So when we're still building that brand, that is when it is like, it's almost like you can't get it wrong.
Right.
So, but that's crazy because I asked you, I was just messing with you today because I always see you in a suit or at least a blazer.
Yes. I am usually dressed up.
Yeah. And I know it's Sunday, it's whatever. Yeah. But, anyways, I just had to pick on you a little bit.
Yeah, I got it. At least I have a quarter zip on.
Yeah. At least you got a collar. A collar is more dressed than not a collar. So, anyways, I just wanted to mess around with you because we did have that conversation. You not only, because I asked you didn't go to high school.
I did go.
Sorry.
I didn't go to college.
You didn't go to college.
No.
That's what I meant. And you made it to Wall Street.
Mm-hmm. Working for free.
Crazy.
Yes.
And then you started studying the greats.
Correct.
Right? So you told me, and I'll let you talk, but it was like, you not only watched like what they were saying,
how they
their
dressed.
Mannerisms, how they dress,
how they walk,
tell me a little bit about that.
I studied, so I didn't just like listen, but I studied. So I but started this journey at 19 by watching Ryan Serhant vlogs. Everyone, I probably watched them all 10 times.
Yeah.
And the first thing he talks about is impression. First impressions are everything. So having the impression of, who's that guy? Who's that kid in a suit getting out of the back of an escalator right now? Like, what the hell? So that's where I started, like, okay, I'm going to wear a suit to everything. And if you look at pictures of me since I was 19, I wore a suit to everything. Only these last 2 appearances did I not wear a suit.
Yeah.
SOS Live Radio and this podcast. And every stage I'm always in a suit, of course.
Yeah.
But you have impressions where you have about 30 to 70 seconds where you have to grab somebody's attention or your first impression's gone. What?
3 seconds.
30 seconds?
3.
3? 3 seconds to get somebody's attention?
They're already making a judgment about you in 3 seconds. Whether you're building trust or credibility or you're not. It's fast.
It is fast.
It used to be 7 seconds and now it's 3. People don't have the attention, but they're just like, boop. So, sorry.
I wonder how many doors people close on themselves doing that.
All the time.
Like so many doors.
Mm-hmm. It's probably why I'm so passionate about what I do because I want to help people succeed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just take these 3 steps and you'll open more doors.
I found there's a lot of risk. A lot of fear that people allow to control their choice making. A lot of people are afraid of that 3 seconds of judgment that they can't hear the other side of.
Yeah.
And they're afraid that somebody's going to judge them, so they don't do X, Y, and Z, offset judgment. Post that selfie video, wear that suit, wear those shoes, wear that watch, say this thing, wear my hair a certain way. Because they're so afraid that, if I wear a quarter zip to Celeste's podcast, she might not even interview me.
Wouldn't happen.
I know. But it's like, it's things like, I'm so absorbed in what does everybody else think, I've got to let that control me. People can't get over it. The minute I stopped, the more I've heard, you inspire me. Keep going. This is amazing. I'm proud of you. Congrats on everything. It's like followers are followers and leaders are leaders for a reason because they don't do what the followers do. And the funny thing is followers are so afraid of becoming leaders because the other followers will judge them. Crabs in a bucket. Have you ever thought of the crabs in a bucket?
Yes, of course.
Exactly. So one tries to get out. They all try to climb on.
Yeah.
And try to not let him out.
Yeah. And I think, too, when you really are authentic to yourself, to who you're, Dylan in the inside and Dylan on the outside, like dialed in 100%, like people are going to come into your life who they're supposed to be in your life.
Yes.
And all the other people will fall off. And that's been my experience.
Mine, too.
Yeah.
Yes. You're either a blessing or a lesson. That's what I've learned. And if I do a lesson or I invest here or I take this chance and it doesn't work out, all I say is this lesson cost me X. I have to apply it and never forget it so I can get my return on investment still. Yeah.
So what's one mindset shift that changed everything for you? And how can someone watching apply it using it today?
My biggest mind shift, when I really shifted my paradigm is when I understood that you're one text, one DM, one phone call, one email away, one conference away, one handshake away from a completely different life. That's it. You're that close. And you're 23 no's away from the yes that will change your life forever.
Why do you say 23 no's?
It's just statistically.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you are selling something or pitching something, it will only take you 23 no's before you get a yes.
Wow.
David Meltzer lesson. So if you knew that,
Yeah.
how many no's would you seek in a day? How many no's are you looking for? I'm gonna ask 50 people.
Yeah. That's like 2 sales.
But people are also coming back down to judgment. People are afraid of no. They're afraid of rejection. They're intimidated by it. People are also intimidated by the humans who have accomplished things and usually feel insecure around those who are put together because they're not. And that's through comparison, but comparison's a thief of all joy. The only person that I've ever compared myself to was myself yesterday. And now I go down to 19. This is as far back as I go. But the lesson is if you're not racing yourself or in competition with yourself, you're going to lose every race.
Yeah.
Every race. I've become obsessed with how can I be a better version of myself every day. And hiring people this last year, how can I be a better leader? Where am I messing up? How can I be a better leader? Where am I wrong? Where am I reacting incorrectly? How am I not supporting you guys? Like, that was a big shift for me this year. I think my biggest shift was when the DM thing. I DM'd Craig for a year straight, once a day, a year.
Really?
And then their CS Live, and his assistant emailed me, and I had to pay some money, but I showed up.
Yeah.
And the night before, I sent him a DM. I wish I had it. It was an Instagram DM, so it deleted. Just saying, hey, ready to take over the world to you tomorrow when I meet you. And when I walked in, he walked right through the crowd and hugged me and put me right in front row. And then within 30 minutes, I had his wife laughing. I was sitting next to his sister-in-law, and she was laughing. And it's people. You're understanding how people work and what do they need. Everybody's seeking support. Everybody's seeking community. What's the beautiful thing about communities? You do it together. You grow together. You level up together. If you're going to buy a Lamborghini, you want your best friend to buy one too, to drive him around. If you're going to go to Vegas, you're not going to go alone. If you're going to go to Miami, you're not going to go alone. So it's all about building everybody around you. Like, I want everybody to win. I really do.
Yeah, I feel that. I really feel that since I've known you, which hasn't been that long. So every time you come into the room, you're very much like connecting with people.
Yes.
And I feel people want to be seen and heard, ultimately.
The number one question that I can give the most advice to, the number one question that opened up every door that has changed my life, and every celebrity connection and every opportunity that paid me, was how can I help you? How can I serve you? How can I promote you? How can I uplift you? When I ask somebody that question and they answer it, I always make sure to deliver. Always, and over deliver.
Yeah.
So when I do that, then they're like, oh. And then I never ask for anything. I just want everybody to win, and then it opens doors you weren't expecting.
Yeah. No, that's probably, there's been a few master connectors that I've been introduced in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And they're unicorns, but they exist, and they truly, truly are only connecting you because they feel it's a good fit, or you should get to know somebody, or they're not even trying to like make a sell or what. I don't know. Just, it's very, very, very authentic. And it's like, man, you should cherish those connections and learn from those people.
Yes.
Because it's truly when the doors open.
It is. And that's when it opened for me, when I just wanted to help everybody and serve everybody.
Yeah.
Because you help enough people get what they want, they'll help you get what you want without you asking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Is there anything you would like to say to the audience here today?
Yeah, this last year I learned that I was enough, so I want to let you guys know that you're enough. And if anybody tells you otherwise, they're wrong. And if nobody believes in you, I believe in you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Where can people find you?
Dylan Smith Dyslexia on Google, Dyslexia19 on Instagram. Yeah.
Maybe someone wants you to come speak. You never know. He is a speaker.
Yes. DM me. Email me at dyslexia1@gmail.com.
Speaker, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Celeste, I'm proud of you this year, too. So congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
Let's go kick ass this year.
Yes. And let me know how I can serve you. Yes.
Definitely. Thanks, Dylan.